So let's say, for the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet over the next 100 years, say 10 feet by the next 100 years, and it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater, right? Which, let's say all of that happens. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem. Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
Good morning, my beauties and bees. It is Saturday, and we are live from the Hive. Hello, my beautiful, beautiful Hive out there, watching this live with me on Saturday morning. Thank you so much for joining. Today is going to be a fun one. I got like a full stack of crazy stuff to go over. It's pretty wild. So I'm going to try to parse it out a little bit into bite-sized segments, though, but we get really it's gonna be really weird at the beginning, and then with CryptoCorner, and then it's gonna get cringe as hell with Mr. Batman, and then we're gonna do like some really bad science from like a top 20 video I found, because I really liked doing that last week, and I want to do it again. Good morning, everybody. Before I get started, let me just say hi to all my friendly faces out there in the chat. I see John Hudson and Maynard Saves and Tobin Templeman and Gary Hartwick and Cosmic Kyle and Rick, and there's Bugbot, of course, in there causing trouble, stinging people. We got One Ring 42, and we're going to talk about you in just a second, sweetie, so you hang in there. I wasn't going to post your link until I had a chance to talk about you, but you already posted it. That's all right. The beautiful Maya Atkinson. So, yeah, tomorrow night for Maya is her showtime. She does a Sunday evening show that's always fun. Doing some of the kind of like in the same vein of the stuff that I'm doing. So I would like bad like science videos and stuff, but we'll get there. We'll get to more bad science, and I should have Maya on my channel again for What's the Buzz, where we do some bad science. So say hi to you yet, John, and we have UC Love, and Nikki from Sasquatch Secrets is here. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, Ring. So last night I was on Ring's channel, and we're gonna see that on my. I'm gonna mirror it here probably next Sunday, or maybe a little bit earlier. I don't know. Anyway, we have been I got us entangled with this. Here, let me show you with these people on with these people on Twitter, and it's been wild interacting with them. They are predator abolitionist. Used to watch documentaries and wonder how the film crew can just stand there and let a gazelle get violently eaten by a crocodile. Respect to the vegans that have initiated discourse that this should be prevented. So this is the post that got me into, because I love crocodilians, right? I love them. Absolutely. In this post, I was like, what the hell? Prevent an animal from feeding in its natural environment? I guess it's homo superiority at its finest. Mm-hmm. And sorry, I had a visitor. Anyway, it wasn't this post here. This post just made me scratch my head. But then when I was reading the comments, here's Nick Hebert, and he's the one who really set things in motion. Honestly, this creature has no business being on my fucking planet. one of the few vegans with the balls to actually say it, though. He's talking about our crocodile. He's talking about our freaking animal, our amazing archosaurs that have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. And he's like, no, it has no business on my planet. This little a member of a group of primates that's only been kicking around for about I'll even give it to the 3.2 million years or something like that. And crocodiles, again, been around for for hundreds of millions of years as crocodiles, right? And they wanted to get rid of them. So anyway, we did this whole stream last night. Ring had a lot more screenshots than just the ones I just showed, but those were the ones. That was the one that tipped the iceberg, because I started responding on Twitter to this nonsense, and a whole herd of these people. There was like half a dozen of them that were really passionate about depredatorizing the world, like getting rid of all the predators and replacing them with genetically modified herbivore versions of themselves that without any thought. I shouldn't say without any thought. They just dismiss the ecological factors. But I'll share that with you guys again in the coming weeks. So keep your eye out for that. It'll just be a mirror of our stream. But also subscribe to Ring. Ring posted their link, but let me post it again just in case, because this is where it was. If you can't wait for me to re-share it, you can go there and watch it. Actually, I recommend watching it over there. At least go ahead and pop it in and giving it a good thumbs up, because it's been a good hour and a half ripping this apart. Anyway, so that was that, and it's probably not over. But we'll see what fruit comes to bear from all of this. But I'm actually excited for the Cryptic Corner topic that I had. I had a little bit of I switched topics 2 times. The other topics, though, we will cover. We will cover the psychics, the cold reader people, and we will cover the Slender Man. Those were the 2 topics I shuffled through before I landed on what I landed on. There's a reason I had to. So I'm ready to get over there. I'll see you guys over in Cryptic Corner, okay? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, accursed, and the forbidden. I am Bumblebee, your host this evening, and with me is my lovely live from the Hive audience watching this live on Saturday mornings. You can also join us live every Saturday morning if you would like to. It's 9:30 Central Standard Time, and We are here every week. We do 3 segments of the show. The first segment is what you're watching now, Cryptic Corner. So, if you want to be part of that, all you got to do is pop up and join us here. But let's get started. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I went through quite a bit of indecisiveness this week on what I was going to cover at Cryptic Corner. I have a list that I go through, right? And there were a few things on there that I wanted to that really were, that have been scratching the back of my brain, right? Slender Man, of course, I've been putting that off. We got the Mothman stuff coming. That's scheduled out though. Then I've not covered any of the spiritualist psychics on this segment yet, so I do want to get some of them in here too. And I also had a list of strange substances. You guys remember the star jelly that we covered a couple months back, maybe? Just the notion of all these mysterious substances and unobtainium and whatnot is always fascinated me. And I have a few items on the list, but one of them was like low on the list, right? I didn't really put much thought into it. It was something called black goo, right? I didn't put much stock into it. Thought it was just like a low tier mystery substance compared to angel hair and star jelly and all that. But the other well, I guess I shouldn't say. I should explain that a couple of weeks ago I found this channel called the Supernatural Show, right? And they have a lot of love for like Bud Fossil universities. These people are not allies by any means. They're very transphobic. I tried to engage with them. Because they mentioned something about, they were complaining about Miss Universe, Miss Netherlands being trans. And I was like, what the hell? It just came out of nowhere. And then they explained that of course, that trans people are, what I told Maya about it. Hold on, shoot, I can't pull that up right now because my Discord doesn't ever shut up and dings in my ear if I have it open while I'm streaming. Anyway, but they said that transitioning was a sacrifice to Baphomet, which was of course the fictional goat-headed hermaphroditic, I guess, god of the Knights of the Templar. It's become a symbol of the Satanic Temple, Baphomet. Got the goat head with big horns, nice titties. That's and then does this. This is the symbol, right? And these people are all about that. They think that's all kinds of like Satanists and stuff. When I first came in there, that first stream, they were talking about, she was claiming something about the Satanic Temple. And I was like they did some kind of mystical ritual. Like the first thing I said in their comments section was, the Satanic Temple is an atheist organization that rejects the supernatural. They didn't respond to it, but it's like, if you're gonna lie to your audience, you can make up a satanic organization. You shouldn't slander one that actually exists. Yeah. The channel went on to explore other ideas too, that they went on to explore the idea of vagina caves, right? I flipped out when I started talking about vagina caves. It was amazing. The caves are giant are giant sex organs, right? So I when that happened, I tapped Maya. I'm like, get in here, girl. You got to hear what these people are saying. it was pretty wild. They were talking about Mud Fossil University and all that. So anyway, yeah, I was watching I was actually preparing to do I was preparing to cover Slender Man and kind of do a deep dive into it. I was actually having some problem finding videos that weren't absolutely freaking cheesy as hell trying to present Slender Man sightings. It's like most of them were really bad. So I was actually struggling, and I saw this channel that was live again talking about black goo, and I'm like, black goo? So I went in and poked my nose in for a little bit and listened to them talk. But I'm actually not going to play these people because they're like crazy QAnon people. They're not like paranormal researchers or anything. They're like a deliverance ministry. Their audience was a lot of flat earth people. I'm going to continue to interact with them. And if I go in and talk to them, because I do a call-in show, if I go in and talk to them, I will share it with you guys. But, because I would love to talk to them. I love to engage with, because they would think I'm like a freaking, I don't know what they would think I am. I can't imagine that they would be, it's very accepting of me. Their side chat is very nice to me. I haven't told anybody that I'm I'm an atheist. I did say they did ask if I was born again, in the side chat, and I said no. I told them I liked talking about it though. But the idea of actually exposing my identity to them before I get a chance to talk to them, I want to kind of hold back on that. I hate to say I want to spring it on them, but I want to make them engage with me a bit, and then be like, yeah, I'm an atheist, I'm a trans woman, but that's neither here nor there when it comes to talking about black goo. So I'm not going to play them talking about the black goo, but a name did come up in their side chat that I looked into because I was like, who do I go to find out more about it? And it was Harold Kotz Vela. Now this is from Conspiracy Daily Updates. And the irony of this being on a conspiracy site, with all the videos of this guy talking are video unavailable. Yeah, what we'd call it was internet Internet 1.0 generation call a 404 error with all the videos on a conspiracy site. That's got to be some fun irony there, right? Every single one of them. Look, video gone, video unavailable, video unavailable, video unavailable. It's a conspiracy, guys. This is old, I'll give it that, but not like super old. 2017. If it was from like 2008 or something like that, I would get, or even from 2010 or something, I would get that all of them not being available anymore. But it is crazy that all his videos are gone. Now, who is this guy? Well, again, not going to play these people, but look for them in the future because they were kooky. And it's the Supernatural show. If you wanted to engage with them yourself, I would love to have the Hive start showing up in their live chat. I would love that, you guys to show up in there and engage with, and I would totally get involved with that. It'd be so much fun. Maybe if they do have a call-in show, so maybe me and Maya can call in there together or something. That'd be fun. Yeah. Anyway, but let's get back to the black goo, because the black goo is what we're talking about. And Harold. Now, Harold talks quite a bit about the black goo. Harold talks for almost 2 hours about the black goo. So just to put it into perspective there for you, but I've highlighted some of his commentary about it so that we can kind of pin him down a little bit. Now, I'm not going to watch this whole video, but we are going to give it a shot. Okay, here. We're going to play a little bit of this, and I got another guy that actually covers it and is more entertaining, so.
Changed, ruled by this substance and this topic. So once you manage to understand what black goo is and what it does on this planet, it gives you a completely different understanding of the question, what rules our life? What turned our planet into the place it is now? And with this understanding of the planet and our history that I will try to develop, you also come to complete different conclusions, what steps could be taken next to change this world into a better world. I'm going to do this a little bit from, let's say, the story, how I came to deal with the substance and with the topic, so that you can just pick it up as a story. And this is something that occurred in my life a number of times, that actually topics popped up and forced me to deal with them. And with the Black Goo topic, it was kind of the same. It started with an invitation of a not so close friend who just phoned me up and told me, Harold, I need to show you a documentary. And he was persisting. I didn't feel like I was not interested in the topic, but he made me come to his place at a certain time, and he showed me a documentary he just found on YouTube about the real cause or reason behind the Falkland Wars, when Britain went to war against Argentina to reconquer the Falkland Islands. And this was about just,
Let me know if you guys are having trouble understanding him. Yes, goo. The black goo is the topic for the day. I'm going to turn on the captions just in case you guys are having any kind of problem understanding what he's saying, because he does have a thick German accent, and I do have this playing at 1.5 speed. But he talks really, he's really slow talking. He sounds like he's talking at normal speed with at the 1.5. So, yeah.
Meddling around with the little islands in the official press, and there was a behind story telling about a Black Goo reservoir being on Tula Island, one of the southern little islands, that was basically a substance that was sold on the Southern American black market because it was meant to have the ability to host intelligence, like a liquid brain being able to
a liquid
build
brain.
nanobots with swarm intelligence and all kind of weird things. So this was a very wanted substance, and the British people wanted to have this substance for themselves, so they reconquered the islands, brought the substance to Great Britain, and then tried to utilize it as, let's say, a substance to host artificial intelligence, to create nanobots with swarm intelligence. This was their intention, but it completely went wrong, according to this documentary. And basically the substance of the oil already was intelligent, and it was inhabited by a very loving being calling herself Mother Earth, and she refused to be abused for military purposes.
I refuse to believe that Gaia is a black goo. Guys, this is black goo.
And while trying to still work with this sentient oil, the mindset of the people working with it was messed up. So basically, the documentary said that half of the people working in these military labs went nuts and committed suicide in very cruel and funny ways. And the other half kind of saved their own lives by finding to an affirmation saying, please connect me to the one source, which gave them access to the collective consciousness of the planet. Being one with all plants, being one with all animals, being one with all humans, being able to communicate with every living being on telepathic level.
I want to do that. I want to be, I don't care about humans. I just want to be part of the, connect me up, hook me into the mycelial system. Hook me into that, so I can talk to the animals.
And of course, after having reached this state, there was no sense in developing weapons to control or to go to war anymore. So they had to shut down the labs where they tried to utilize this substance. And that was basically the end of the story told in this documentary. This is like, you look at a story, it did not relate to my life back then.
Just for the record, I couldn't find this documentary he's talking about. I couldn't find it. So we're just gonna, I don't know. It could be a Venom symbiote. Could be. That's very possible. I was also thinking the black goo from Prometheus and the Alien franchise that was used to create the first aliens.
And I was not further interested in the topic, so I just kind of stored it in the back of my head as something that came across my path. And back at that time, I actually was researching other things.
Creepshow 2 has the black goo too. I always thought that was kind of a follow-up to the strange fate of Jordy Verrill, the plant monster that covers him, the black goo. Mm-hmm.
Researching the Morgellons disease, which is a transhumanistic technology developed by the elites to mind control basically every single human that is infected with this little fungi fibers or mycelium. And
ooh, they put the mycelium in us, and it makes them so they can control us. The elites can, with their black goo. So the elite are controlling us with the goo.
I was suspecting the Morgellon entity being part of German World War II bioweapon research. So I got in contact with people who not did the official history bit that is taught about World War II, but that did research underground facilities of World War II times, that went into the mines, into the bunkers, and had one-to-one contact with the equipment and the content of these facilities. And I met some of these people just to ask them whether they came across Morgellon research in World War II. And sad enough, they did not. I never got answers to those questions I had, but on one of these meetings, one of these guys doing this research just went to his car and came back with a box. And what he brought back was this. And he said this is some oil schist he recovered from underground facilities. So there was about a ton of this. And he found it to be an interesting mineral. He didn't know what it is. And he said, actually, we managed to follow instructions we found to extract the oil from this oil schist. And it behaves funny. So what he found
What do you find?
is an oil. Oops.
Oil. Okay.
Okay, here we go. An oil that why doesn't it play? Okay, just a sec. I have to get it from somewhere else.
Applause. What? What are they applauding?
The second meeting, he had only one of these glasses. With the first meeting, he had two of these plastic containers with two eyes of this kind, and he demonstrated how if you put the two eyes in a distance of, it is very fluent, but it self-organizes, and it's forming.
Dude, I want to find out what you're talking about.
So you can see how it is forming a kind of liquid crystal. It is very fluent, but it self-organizes, and it's forming kind of the shape of an insect eye. Completely symmetrical. And something that happened on that first meeting, this is kind of the second meeting, he had only one of these glasses. With the first meeting, he had two of these plastic containers with two eyes of this kind, and he demonstrated how if you put the two eyes in a distance of 4 to 5 meters, they started to react on each other, which went like the two eyes looking at each other first, then realizing, okay, there's something of my sort, and I want to unify to one bigger entity. And they started to pull, trying to get closer to each other, which did not work because they were caught in these containers. So the moment they realized they cannot come closer, they started to fight to try to get out of the pot by shaking and jumping inside the pots. So this had something of an intelligent being in a liquid form trying to get what it wants to get.
Prove it, dude. Okay. Keep talking about it. Show me. I don't see it up here. You're like referencing it being off to your
mess with the computers.
To your right here.
So that was my first meeting with a substance that I had seen kind of this or heard about in the documentary that I heard before, saw before. And I told those people, actually, what you're dealing here looks to me like black goo. And actually, it did have an emotional impact on the people that were in that room. What I kind of felt was that I was getting cold-hearted. It was like a little bit the feeling you get in these big old churches, where you freeze and you have some kind of respect that is funny. What happened next is that I was a little bit in...
I don't get that response in churches. Do you guys? I don't get... yeah, he's not... But let's let this guy tell it, because he's more entertaining.
Here's what it is. We back at it again with another episode.
Look at this guy's aesthetic. That's... oh, I mean,
we talking about black goo. What is black goo? Where did it come from? What type of black goo is there? So boom, we're gonna get straight into it. But first, before I get into this, I just want to let y'all know that this is strictly for entertainment purposes. You know, I'm not saying these things are 100% fact because I really don't know. I've never encountered it in person or myself personally, but I can tell you that other people supposedly have.
It's really because I like his sunglasses is why I'm watching this one. I really do. I love those sunglasses on. They look really good on him. But the whole aesthetic on this channel is more fun than listening to that guy giving his presentation. And this guy gives it a fairer shake than Vela's going to give himself.
Have, and I'm just resharing secondhand knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So I'll let y'all be the judge of it. I'm gonna let y'all know where y'all can look this stuff up.
Definitely work his grandma's house.
And look more deeper into this. All right, so boom. I first heard and found out about black goo probably about 3-4 years ago when I was, you know what I'm saying, going down the rabbit hole. And
Hexus, oh my God, I hadn't thought about Hexus in years. You guys, yeah, Tim Curry's voice is Hexus. Fern Gully, that's old school.
Harold Quartz Vela. So Harold Quartz Vela, he's German. He talks a lot about heart consciousness, planetary consciousness. He talks about black goo, chemtrails, all types of stuff. Basically, he got started in researching chemtrails, and he started kind of like he got started getting into chemtrails, trying to figure out what they was, and he actually found out what they were. And it didn't turn out good for him. That he had people following him and like all types of bad stuff happening to him.
And he's kind of like vanished, right? He's kind of disappeared from the internet.
Like attacks. He had like weird people following him and trying to take him out, poisoning his garden. He lives like in the outskirts off the grid, you know what I'm saying? So he has his own little farm and stuff. And long story short, they tried to poison him by putting poison on his vegetables and fruits outside his house. They were sending...
And you just, I like Ring. I don't understand why you just dismissed Topher Grace like that. You never saw Fern Gully because it was too pagan? That's sad. It was a cute movie. It has Robin Williams in it doing the bat, Betty Coda. Yeah. He was a lab experiment bat. And there's the Beetle Boys. Yeah. It's a good movie.
Witches and warlocks and witchcraft and demonic attacks towards him. But he's still here.
Well, wait. He just says this matter-of-factly. Demonic attacks. This guy was under... Because the guy that he's talking about the guy we were just watching giving the presentation, right? Witches and warlocks came after him. I've known a few people who've claimed to be witches and warlocks in my day. I actually participated in a little coven for about 1.5 years when I was a teenager. But it wasn't it wasn't like demonic or anything. That's so weird.
You know what I'm saying? He's still with us and he's still teaching his truth. So, boom, I'm going to get into it. Black goo, what is black goo? So, according to him and many others, black goo, there's 2 types of black goo. The original black goo is inside of Mother Earth. It's inside of Gaia. It's in Earth, which is the natural organic black goo, which is supposedly like an artificial intelligence. It almost like holds the memories of all of our world, all of our past existences, all of the whole history of Mother Earth. That
dripping is his sound background, right? I think this guy is like really Christian though, and it's weird to hear him talking about Gaia and yes, Fern Gully is the movie with Robin Williams bat. Yes, that's it. Fern Gully shaped my perception of the environment as a child, and then I became an adult and realized a little fairy can't save the planet by herself. Shit is doomed no matter what I do. I'm with you, sis. Same energy. Yeah. It's so weird to look back and say like, oh yeah, I wanted to be a fairy so bad when I was a kid. I like the idea of having the wings and being able to fly through the forest and stuff. Yeah, Fern Gully was the shiznit.
And everything that has taken place here, it holds knowledge, And according to him, you know what I'm saying, when you can tap into Mother Earth, she'll tell you whatever you want to know as far
My chat is so engaging today. Yes, Ring. That's like, it could be an alien like the Thing wanting to assimilate us.
as, you know what I'm saying, how do we get here? What is the meaning of life and this and that. And according to him, he's saying that the black goo inside of our earth is the good black goo. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing but love. This black goo is 100% pure love.
The
It's
original
all
goo.
about love. It's, you know what I'm saying, understanding, even though he says that, you know, the earth can also be very mean and very extreme at some times. I mean, we can't blame earth if that is a fact. We can't blame earth because we out here destroying the earth, especially the elite and the rich out here.
Because while the Earth may be a self-regulating system of life forms, it is not a cohesive sentient mind, which is probably where I may be on the opposite side of the line to other Gaianists, to other Lovelockian Gaianists, because I think some of them actually do believe it's one sentient mind, like it's cohesive. I don't, in my Gaianism, I don't adhere to that at all. I think it's self, in the same sense that like you are in one sentient mind with your gut flora. I don't think. I mean, you're able to signal each other, right? But you're not all sharing, you know, one mind, right? That's not the way biology works.
Just being greedy and sucking out all the minerals.
And if Mark Reed shows up in here, I need to let him know I did get that speaking on the Gaia thing, because we had our Gaia debate, and he asked me for some papers, and I did find the ones on gut flora signaling that I need to share with him.
Dropping bombs, polluting the world, just like, you know, it's easy to understand why the world.
Yes, cutie. People suck. They really do. They really do.
World and the earth would be angry, you know what I'm saying? But supposedly the original black goo is love. It's pure love, and that's what it is in this
love.
It's a liquid that holds all the memories of all time here on earth, including Earth's spirit. So according to him, he's saying that all planets have their own aura and they have their own spirits, just like we do. He's saying that
so all the other planets would seem to be dead then. Like, they don't have any life form or organism that we can detect, right? Earth is flourishing with life. Like, from basically from every inch of from the deepest depths of the crust all the way up to the to right below the upper atmosphere. There's life, or the product of life, right? Every inch of it. There's no escape. It's everywhere. But the other planets are pretty dead.
Planets are just like us. They have their own spirit, their own aura, and their own energy. So now the bad stuff, the evil black goo, the other black goo is supposed to be evil, and it's not from this earth. It's not of our planet. According to him, it came here on a meteorite. And he's saying that this meteor crashed.
So, yeah, it was preemptive on the Spider-Man references, but evil black goo that came from space. Yeah.
On the earth, carrying this evil black goo, which harnessed and held the spirit and the energy of Satan. And this black goo is evil. Anyone that comes in contact with this
Where
black
did
goo,
Satan come from? For a second there, you were talking about the spirit of the earth and stuff. And now we're living in a Abrahamic world where Satan, Lucifer, or the fallen angel, or whatever. Satan, yeah, the devil of Christian mythology, exist alongside the pagan god, a pagan goddess, the spirit of the earth, that they live in the same Same universe. At least it was not green. Yeah, I think that Gaia goo should be green, right? Or blue maybe, because we go to the blue marble, right? So that is the energy of the earth would be blue.
Turns them evil, it makes them crazy. And according to him, a lot of these elites, Illuminatis, Freemasons, you know what I'm saying, the evil.
You guys got your bingo cards out? We had Illuminati and Freemason right there side by side.
Rulers, the dark powers of our world, they run off of this stuff. And also supposedly the Bushes bought a property, I don't know where it is, I think it might be in Ireland or somewhere crazy like
Bushes,
that, where a lot of this black goo deposits are at. And I guess they feed off of this and they use this to their own benefit, to their black magic and their dark power, you know what I'm saying? There's also black cubes around the world. There's one, there's
black cubes too. So we got black goo and black cubes. The the Supernatural show people were talking about the black stone of Mecca and stuff too. Really getting into it. Yeah, Audrey too. Little shop of horror. I got a piranha plant. I want to get one in the pot, or not a pot, in the coffee can, like Seymour had.
Some at like big churches where they kiss on it and they pray to it, and these black cubes are actually evil, and they hold the energy and spirit of Satan inside of it, the artificial intelligence of Satan, which is hate, fear,
like modern art. These aren't even consistent. They don't even all look the same. It's just art pieces. Wow. But yeah, they're the global occult, I guess. I want to go see one of these. Which one's, any of them close to me? I guess this one's in Manhattan. That's probably the closest I'm going to get.
All of those low vibrations. So he's saying that Satan sent his energy and his spirit here on this earth through this evil black goo that came here from space inside of a meteorite. So this guy Harold, he says that, you know what I'm saying, the earth's black goo runs off of crystals and organic material.
Now this is just magnetic polymer stuff that they made. It's not, this is nothing, this is not that black goo. See, he's holding magnets there. This is like a magnetic substance that they're working on. There's some videos about it and stuff, but I looked at it because it comes up when you search black goo too. It's nothing supernatural about this at all. It's just like when they talk about the black goo found in the mummy sarcophagus and stuff, in the tombs of the pharaohs and whatnot, the black goo that they talk about. It's not a mystery what that is. It's a tar that they made from local resources that was highly prized and used to preserve royalty in the well-to-do.
And Satan's black goo, his spirit and his energy, his black goo is not able to run off of our organic material like the earth does with crystals. And
is that what it is? Is it ferro fluid? I couldn't remember the name of it. I didn't even bother looking at it after I watched it. I was like, oh, this is just some cool new science technology, which I didn't have time to sit through. But when I saw that picture, I recognized it from that scene. So if it's called ferro fluid, that's a pretty cool name for it because it's magnetic. So ferro, iron. Yeah, I get it.
Organic material. Satan more has to run off of low vibrations, off of technology and stuff. And Satan, that's another reason why he says that they're trying to make this world so technically advanced.
You better get off the internet then, homie, because yeah, this is Satan's space, I guess, for the devilish gals like me, not good boys like you.
They're basically trying to make this world surrounded by technology and just have technology take over everything. We already see it right now with the invention of the internet, which was also created by CERN. For all you that don't know, the internet was birthed and created at CERN.
True.
Where they're also playing with black holes, wormholes, portals.
Sort of. No, not really, but they're smashing stuff together to make reactions. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool science, but not opening black holes. That's that's some wild speculation that goes around, but there's no grounding for that.
Trying to create, harvest, and use dark matter. They also built their facility on top of Apollyon, the ancient temple and city of Apollyon, where the Bible says Apollyon, aka Abaddon, is supposed to rise out of the abyss, all of his demons. Now, according to Harold, what he believes is that he's saying that Satan was a planet, and that planet died from its inhabitants creating wormholes.
Wait, so just hold on. Just to be clear, Apollyon is from the New Testament, the destroyer, a name given to the devil. The Hebrew term for Abaddon is what it was translated to. It appears in the Bible as both a place of destruction and an angel of the abyss. Okay, place of destruction and angel of the abyss. Okay, so I don't know if that's what that has to do with CERN. It's weird, because it doesn't sound like it's like a city. It doesn't give a description of it like a city.
And playing with black magic. Basically, they destroyed their planet, playing with black magic and creating black holes and all of that stuff. Kind of sounds similar to what CERN is doing over there. And supposedly, after this planet died, just like when people die and their ghosts, their spirits are still, you know what I'm saying, roaming around trying to figure out what happened.
But there's no evidence that that's actually something that happens. There's no substantiated evidence for spirits roaming around doing anything at all, actually.
This planet died and it experienced trauma, and now it's going around to other planets, attaching itself to other planets, including our planet, trying to recreate that trauma that happened to it, that killed it. And he says that, with
you guys, you know what to do. Question Tux, see if he's actually the real Tux or if he's the black goo's gotten to him.
Trauma, when you're traumatized, the only way to heal that traumatization is to recreate the trauma that you went through in order to get over it, in order to heal from it.
That's very bad. Do not try to recreate your trauma. That's not good advice. Just in general, don't recreate your trauma. That's you're likely, if you do that, you're likely to trigger negative responses. They get adverse results. Also, just don't take psychological advice from people on the internet. Even me, yeah. Talk to a doctor, not me.
So he's saying that's why the spirit of Satan came here to Earth, to recreate that trauma that planet went through and recreate that destruction here on Earth in order for it, because it can't heal until it goes through that trauma again and experiences it in order to heal. And like I said, he says that planets have their own spirits. Mars has its own spirit. Earth has its own spirit. Woo, 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 right? And this spirit of Satan is going around to our planet.
The spirit of Satan is from another planet, apparently. Are y'all taking notes here? Because there's a lot to keep up with.
Other planets looking for energy to use. He's also a real big believer in heart consciousness. He says that we have two minds. We have our mind consciousness and we have our heart consciousness. And that the heart consciousness...
I don't believe the heart consciousness exists. I believe that what you feel in your chest is actually a result of reactions in your brain still. It's still in your head. It's causing the nerves in your body when you have like a gut reaction or a reaction in your chest. But this guy's actually going to dabble into some racism here in just a little bit. So, yeah, stay tuned.
Is the key. Love is the key to everything and will conquer over all. And you can learn a lot more thinking with your heart than your mind. The power is in the heart. He also talks about something that's really interesting too. He says that different nationalities of humans and people have different strengths when it comes to feelings in different parts of your bodies. Like he says, Africans are more connected to their gut feeling. He talks about being in Africa and witnessing these things, and supposedly Africans are more connected to their gut feeling. You know, like when you get a gut feeling, you just know something ain't right. Supposedly Africans are more connected to their gut feeling, and he says Europeans on the other hand are not. They're more connected to their mind. You know what I mean? And
are you guys following this? This is some weird connection to the black goo, but to give you an idea who Harold Kotz-Vella, the German researcher, is when it comes to this stuff. Geek!
He said that there were some Europeans that were in Africa and they just couldn't take it. They couldn't understand the gut feelings, and I guess the Africans were more prone to working together. They were more in tune with the earth, with the heart consciousness. And supposedly these Europeans, they just couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? Like they went crazy. They had lustful thoughts and evil thoughts. Some of them went crazy. Some of them killed themselves. But for the most part, majority of them ended up having to flee in Africa because they just couldn't take it. But yeah, this guy.
Good grief. This is like Carlton Coon kind of stuff. Like that Africans are... when they reach adulthood, they're overridden with physical desire. That's why that was the old timey racist idea, like that they were their sex drives kept them from being able to function as thinkers in society. Really cringy stuff, and that was actually Carlton Coon was still alive up until the 80s. And still circulating his work. He was from Harvard. So he's the guy pushing these racist ideas about the temperaments of the races from different regions and stuff. Fairly recently and kind of, I don't want to say renowned, but respected in his day. That just goes to show how deeply these old racist ideas are rooted in our society, and how we need to acknowledge them, because pretending that they don't exist doesn't work. Mm-hmm.
Guy's a real interesting dude. I listen to a lot of his stuff. I don't necessarily believe everything anyone says, you know what I'm saying, but it's very interesting what he has to say. I'm a believer in Jesus.
I think the water dripping in the background is supposed to be goo dripping, maybe.
Always will believe in Jesus, and I try to go back to the Bible when it comes to everything. And, I pray to Jesus daily. But yeah, I think all of this stuff is very, very interesting what this guy says. I've listened to several different videos that he's talked about.
What is it? So you're Christian, but you believe that there's this earth spirit inside the earth? That's pretty weird, dude.
Black goo and all types of other stuff. This is his name right here. If y'all want to go ahead and check him out, you know what I'm saying, you can check out some of the videos and stuff and lectures that he talks about. But yeah, like black goo is basically like, it's almost like if you ever seen Venom and Spider-Man, where that black goo gets on you and like it just takes over your body. That's the black goo right there. We got good black goo and we got the bad black goo. And he said that
how do you tell the difference between the good black goo and the bad black goo?
He actually personally encountered some of the bad black goo. And normally he's a loving person. He's a very genuine, just loving, kind, giving person. He came across some of this black goo, and he ended up actually becoming like it made him evil temporarily.
Yeah, he talks about that in that presentation he was given there too about it. he just being in the presence of the bad black goo that he had a negative reaction, was thinking about like killing people and stuff.
It made him evil temporarily. I think he said he was staying out of town somewhere when he encountered this black goo and he had to stay at a hotel. He went to the hotel and supposedly the lady at the front desk told him like the shower wasn't working or something like that. And he just like became infuriated. His heart and his soul was filled with evil. Like he said he literally wanted to kill this lady. He had thoughts of murdering her. And just like he just turned straight evil. The same thing almost like Venom from Spider-Man. Like he
Venom's not evil though. I don't think Venom's evil. He's a predator. Symbiotic predator. He attaches himself to a host and then he wants the host to feed him. But he's not evil. He's just hungry. He's not a hero. He's kind of an anti-hero sometimes, but, well, most of the time.
He encountered that black goo and it just made him evil. So this stuff is real, you know what I'm saying? According to him.
No, it's not. According to him. Okay. You backed it off.
The way he explains it, I believe it. Like, I really think that this stuff is real and nothing.
Do not lick the black mold, Entropy fan. No, no, no.
Surprises me today. Nothing surprises me today with all the crazy stuff we got going on with people making black holes, wormholes, playing with dark matter, all these murders going around. And I know me personally, I definitely have been under demonic attacks. I know the devil has definitely tried to take me out multiple times, and Jesus has saved me every time. Whenever I'm under demonic attack or anything of that nature.
What constitutes a demonic attack, do you think? Is it just having negative thoughts and feelings? That's when you get down to a lot of people, when they talk about, oh yeah, the devil was coming at me, it's like having negative thoughts and having negative feelings about your situation and being, anyway.
Whenever I call on Jesus and the blood of Jesus, I'm always saved. I'm saved in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah, amen. But all praise to the Most High. Shout out to Jesus.
You're like acknowledging Gaia here. So which is it? Because if you believe in a spirit of the earth, a great spirit of the earth, right? Then that's not compatible with Jesus or the biblical God. So you have to make a decision there which one you're going to accept.
You feel me? But this stuff is real, man. In my opinion, I feel like this stuff is real. Look up Black Goo. And he also talks about going all the way back to the Nazis, that, you know, the Nazis actually had the evil black goo in their knives. Like in their swords, they had like an emblem, and inside the emblem was the black goo. And they were.
Where did the Nazis get their black goo from? Because was it in the Faroe Islands too? Or was it the Faroe Islands or the Falkland Islands? What did you say? I think you said the Falklands.
We're using that Satan was using those soldiers and using that Satan spirit to.
But they had the Nazis. The majority of them were like just based on the population and the of Germany at the time. The majority of Nazis were Catholics. They wouldn't have had Satan swords. They weren't devil worshippers or say a satanic army or anything. While Hitler's identity as a Catholic or a Christian or theist of any kind is in question, it's not in question that he used those ideals or the ideals of biblical Christianity to push his narrative on to the population and to sell their superiority complex through their religious divine right. Anyway,
possess those people. Oh yeah, and he also talks about these scientists that were trying to work with Mother Earth's black goo, which is nothing but love. They were trying to understand this. They were in the laboratory, like, you know, they was just messing with it, trying to figure out what it was. They actually took it and tried to weaponize it. They were trying to make some type of weapon out of it. And
a goo weapon, a goo gun. Black goo gun cannon. Black goo cannon? Maybe black goo juggernaut.
It ended up driving a lot of these scientists nuts. They went mad. Some of them committed suicide. Some of them just was like, man, I'm out. And they left. But what it was according to him.
Yeah, tsunami. With Germanic paganism sprinkled in, yes, there northern pride there, and Catholicism has a history of getting mixed up with other religions, and their deities become gods or become saints. Yeah, like the Germanic gods become saints. The Irish gods became saints. The African gods and the Mexican gods, and they all became saints when Catholicism moved in. Well, I shouldn't say when Catholicism moved in on Mexico, it was forced upon them. Africa, too, for that matter.
Harold, that, you know, Mother Earth's black goo is nothing but love. It's pure love. So when they encountered this black goo and they were trying to weaponize it, that
goo is love. Why is the goo, the love goo, black too? I guess is black the color of love?
Love of that black goo of Mother Earth made them realize how evil they were. And they just, like, they couldn't stand themselves. One of the scientists went so crazy, you know what I'm saying, after he realized how evil he was, he ended up putting a rope around his head, getting in the car, driving off, and literally ripped his own head off. And it was symbolic. He did that as a symbol
Allegedly.
and a representation.
Allegedly. Yeah, this is just, yeah.
Of the problem is the mind. And it's all about the heart consciousness. It's all
Love
about love.
goo.
And Mother Earth.
The love goo makes you want to decapitate yourself. That's what love is. You want to know what love is? There you go. What is love? Decapitating yourself.
Black goo made him realize that his problem was thinking up here and not here, with love, with heart. You know what I'm saying? They had bad intentions. They're over here trying to do scientific, taking something that is pure and love and trying to make it into a weapon. And that Mother's Earth black goo just wouldn't let them do that, because it, like I said, it's pure love. So
a love gun. Tobin, you're a genius. Bullet kisses from your love gun. That's a Kiss song, isn't it?
Like I said, they put a rope around his head, drove off in his car, and ripped his head off as a symbolic sacrifice, showing the message that he got from Mother Earth's black goo, letting him know how evil he was. He was finally...
I wonder if the black goo has gotten to our gold man here.
Able to see how up, dark, and evil he was, and realize that this was the problem, not this. And we need to all come back to love, come back to unity, and really focus on the heart consciousness. And that's what Jesus is all about. Jesus is all about.
When I think of heart consciousness, I mean being aware of like heart health, like your how much saturated fats you eat, your cholesterol levels, and things like that.
Love. He loves you. He loves me. He loves all of us. He just wants to see all of us win. He wants us to go to heaven. He don't want none of us to go to hell.
That's how the goo is controlling his mind with its drip drops. Sending drip drop messages to him. It's like Morse code, maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
What is goo? Goo is love, Tsunami.
Harold actually didn't connect any of this to Jesus, but that's how I'm connecting it to Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a strong believer of Jesus, and I like to connect him with everything. And I think it all just makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all opinion is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'll let y'all be the judge of it. If you want to check out some of Harold's videos, I'm actually I'm gonna leave some of the links in the description. You can go ahead in the description, check.
I wonder if you could like cut the goo with like a paint thinner, like an ether or something.
Check out some of his videos and you can hear it straight from his mouth. But I just thought this was really interesting. It's something that I really am interested in, and I be listening for hours listening to this man. Like, this dude is really smart, and I could tell that he's a genuine dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we
genuine
talked about
dude.
black goo. We talked about what types of black goo. We talked about.
He talked about wanting to kill a clerk at a hotel.
How it got here, and its connections to spirit, to Satan, to Mother Earth, all of that stuff. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this whole topic of the black goo.
Ken folks said, Jed, move away from there. They said California is the place you ought to be, so he loaded up the truck and he moved to Beverly Hills, that is.
Let me know if you think it's interesting. Let me know if you believe that it could be real. And if any of y'all know about this stuff and may need to correct me or give me some more information that I could touch on, please feel free to share it. You could shoot me some more links to videos that I could watch and learn more about this stuff. But yeah, man, this is the Gold Mine. It's your boy Gold Rush, and we out. Stay tuned for the next episode. We got grind mode on the next episode. We got an episode with Tippy Toe coming soon and Black Dada. So stay tuned, man. It's the Gold Mine.
The
gold mine.
Okay, the gold mine. I was wondering how you said that word. Just say gold mine. Okay, so what is goo, baby? Don't squirt me. Oh my gosh. Maynard. Oh my gosh. Goodness. So that was the black goo. That was what is the black goo? Is the black goo love? Is it an alien that came down in a comet? In a meteor strike? I want an episode with Tippy Toe coming soon too. Tippy Toe never comes on my show. It's like insulting. It's like, what, you gonna go on the gold mine, but you don't want to come on the Hive, Tippy Toe? Comedy gold, yes. So thank you so much for joining me tonight for Cryptic Corner. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, do not leave, Hive. Do not go anywhere. The show's not over. We're just getting started. Stick around because we got Creation Watch coming up, and it's gonna be kooky. And I want you guys to have a look at this. So I will see you guys over there in just a couple minutes. Okay, so don't leave. The show is not over. The show will go on until generally till 12:30. So, or right around 12:30. So, yeah, I think the Hive could benefit from producing black goo instead of honey. That's not a bad idea. All right. I will see you guys over in Creation Watch in just a minute, and we're going to see some super cringe. So, mwah.
Leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get my hands around your throat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Creation Watch. We are going to be exploring some wild accusations, I guess, about a street preacher that you all might recognize when you hear the voice. This is going to be a fun ride, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, I like that Alex Jones thing. Eat your leftist ass. Like, is Alex Jones dating Blair White now? Is that a thing? Is that real? I've seen it all over that they're like, I don't know, but it'd be crazy if it was true. Yeah, but we're talking about a different figure today. We're talking about Pastor Jim Barber. I don't know if you all know. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't. Let's hear if you guys recognize his voice.
You can say whatever you want, but you're over here talking about intercourse in front of kids, and I'm not even
I'm sorry.
a parent.
There's homosexuals here in front of kids. I would really.
Having sex.
I'm sorry. There's homosexuals here in front of kids. They should not be here. That's a sexual. You know what? I'm talking about natural.
Yep. Good old Mr. Batman. But don't try to go to MrBatman.com because it doesn't exist anymore. But we got more to come here, so this is all recent stuff. Here's good old Mr. Batman out on his front porch.
Well, howdy, y'all. Why don't you just park and come on and I'll preach to you for a little bit. Come on now. You know you want me to preach to you. Pull up inside there.
He is
I'll preach to you. Come
wasted.
on now.
Yes, he's been canceled from the world. He's actually not allowed to exist anymore as Mr. Batman.
You know why? You can know that God loves you. Because he sent somebody like me.
He's so fucking drunk.
Who does not give a crap.
He's stunned.
There's a hole there. That hurt my knee. Anyway, who does not give a crap about what you think about me. And I don't care either. Because I love you enough to tell you the truth. That God wants none to perish. None. And that's exactly what I want. Unfortunately, you,
Really quiet.
Mr.
It's all the way out.
Hives, and your family. Sir, do you know that 85% of your family
go any
will
louder
follow
than that.
what you do? Mr. Hives, I hope you post this on the internet. I hope you post that I'm wearing my ZZs because I'm one weird, crazy Christian. And you know what? I really, really hope you do. Because that's exactly what I want.
How much have you had?
Everybody like you.
How much have you had to drink, Jim?
Jesus loves you. That Jesus died for your sins, just like he did for mine.
Are you
But
okay,
you know
Jim?
what? The only difference is you don't understand that there's a change involved.
I think you need
There
to go
is
in and
a
lay
change involved in you, and you don't understand
Oh
it.
my.
Yes. Have I had a glass of wine? Oh, I'm gonna tell you, it's the end of Sabbath. My wife and I had communion tonight.
A lot more than a glass of wine.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
This guy did get in trouble for something involving children, but I don't have enough details about it to say anything other than that there's accusations out there. I don't know enough about it. I do not throw those accusations around lightly. It involved children. I will say that I have seen people make those accusations, and we're gonna see probably when. So there's a few things that we're gonna look at here.
A lot more than a glass of wine.
Really? Come on, tell me, what is truth and how do you know it?
Because you're slurring and stumbling, Jim.
You fell almost coming across the yard.
I've had a mental problem. Not a mental problem, but I actually had a, what's it called?
An alcohol problem?
No, not actually. I used to have that.
You
but
just
no, I still
do.
I had a physical problem where I was in intensive care for 6 days because of black mold affecting me. So again, that doesn't matter.
It's the black goo. It came back. Black goo came full circle. It wasn't the black mold affecting you, Jim Barber. It was the black goo. How did we get here? How did we come full circle like that? It's amazing.
You know what? Even if I was drunker than a monkey, what difference does that make to the truth of morality?
It's a sin.
The truth of reality, the truth that God loves you and God wants you to repent. And there's a car coming pretty soon. And I don't want you to leave without you knowing one thing, and one thing for sure.
Is being
the only reason that I do what I do. The only reason. I'm not touching your vehicle. I'm trying to stay balanced.
You're gonna fall.
Oh yes, I am. I'm old and I'm very unbalanced. But I will tell you this.
I'm just worried about you.
Thank you. Why would you be worried about me?
Because you have
No. Wait a minute. Excuse me.
Do monkeys get drunk? I've never heard that expression, drunker than a monkey. I suppose they do. I think I have seen monkeys eating overripe fruit and getting drunk. I've seen birds do it too, and other animals such as ungulates.
Why would you be?
Okay, will you answer me one question?
No. Will you answer me one question?
Yes.
Why would you be worried about me?
Why
in your
wouldn't I be?
worldview that is nothing but matter and motion.
What do you mean
why
my world?
would you
don't know
worry
my
about a piece of matter over here that's in motion?
You don't know my worldview.
Really? What is your worldview? Do you believe in God? I'm sorry, do you believe in God?
Answer my question.
No,
first.
do you believe in God?
Do you believe being a drunkard is a sin?
Do you believe in God?
Do I believe in God?
Do you believe that there is a God who will judge you? I'm sorry, there's a car coming.
I don't believe in the same God that you believe in.
Perish. I will not block the road.
Repent or perish.
Thank you very much.
For being so drunk. Love you.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you would change.
If you did, you would change. Yeah, that was Mr. Batman. Apparently drunk, stumbling around in his front yard, proselytizing. But Mr. Batman was actually on the news.
He talked about our child and how she's going to hell because we are her parents.
A Scottsburg man is being accused of harassing a lesbian couple while preaching in the town courtyard. You're watching Wave News at 11. I'm Noelle Friel. John Bull is off tonight. The couple who owns businesses in the area claims he shouts phrases condemning their lifestyle, pointing to religion. This is all happening on the Scottsburg courthouse lawn. Wave News reporter David Ochoa looked into the claims.
Yeah, the man has videos on his Facebook and YouTube showing him doing what he calls street preaching, but not just in Scottsburg. But sometimes he'll come down to Louisville to do it at Pride events. It's led to a group of counter-protesters meeting him in Scottsburg every Wednesday.
This is Mr. Batman, which is what he calls himself. And since he hasn't been charged with a crime, we decided not to identify him. He's a pastor in Indiana, and in June, he started preaching on the corner of the Scottsburg courthouse lawn.
I love being in homosexuals' pictures. Uh-oh, look!
So, to make it clear, there's a tattoo shop run by a lesbian couple on this opposite corner of the courthouse here. So, he set himself up across from their tattoo shop and is doing this.
Photobomb! Okay, kids, avert your eyes. Sexual perverts at work.
Emily Deaton and Marv are married and have businesses right across the street. They say when he saw them, he targeted them with his words.
when we both came out onto the sidewalk, he turned it into a direct thing at us, and his comments were very directed and just really hateful.
This is one of his preaching videos he posted on his YouTube page. Some of it directed at gay people.
Unfortunately, homosexuals put their sexuality in the face of the living God.
How do you put your sexuality in someone's face? How do you put your sexuality? Because, I mean, is him walking down the street with his wife, is that putting his because he has a wife, is that putting his heterosexuality in everybody's face? Is that what he's doing? Why are you putting your sexuality in my children's face, Mr. Batman?
That's a problem.
The women say he told them their child doesn't have real parents because they're gay.
This was very direct comments at me, saying that I'm a pervert and that my child is going to hell, and that's harassment in my book.
They say he showed up to preach at the same exact time for 5 Wednesdays in a row. Soon after, some counter-protesters started showing up to try and distract from his message.
We keep it away from anything that's political or religious or anything that's offensive towards him even, because we want it to be a more positive environment for anybody that could otherwise be hearing what he's saying.
In the same video, you can hear police officers come up and talk to him. He tells them he was just walking around and not directing his messages at anyone.
Who's that call about? They said you were like harassing someone. I'm a street preacher. I'm not a hate preacher. All I'm saying is God can bless people. Okay. God can forgive people. And nobody has
So is it not harassment to scream at people and their children that they're sexual perverts and scream sexual profanity at them? Is that not a thing now? Yeah. Ryan's bringing the fart spray out, though. Good deal. Good thinking.
Has to stay in the position that they're in. You're right. Now, and unfortunately, people take harassment for that.
After I heard this was happening every Wednesday, I showed up at his usual time to try and talk to him. He was there at first, but drove away. So I tried calling him.
You have reached Mr. Batman.
He didn't pick up, so I went to his house. His car was in the driveway, but no one answered the door. He did eventually call me back and left me a message that he would be happy to answer my questions. I called him back twice, but was never able to get a hold of him again.
Neighbors told me he's very well known in the area and has become a nuisance for a lot of them. David Ochoa, Wave News.
All right, Dave.
So, real quick before we move on to the next one, I wanted to acknowledge the comments here. He has the rights to free speech. You don't like it, ignore him. He does have the rights to free speech. I don't disagree there. And we should ignore him. But when he's slandering individuals and it's impacting their business, then that becomes libel, right? We got God bless this preacher. He preaches more than just against them specifically, but these people are so prideful they report him as hateful. They're the real hateful ones. Stop perving kids. Nobody's perving kids. This is the two parents raising their child together. Stop being weird. Preacher is right. No sodomites around him. They will be preached to. No, he doesn't have the rights to harass people in public. I have the rights to, like, say I was going to the courthouse to file papers or something on this day. I have the rights to walk into my public courthouse without being harassed and sexually antagonized by somebody on my way inside. I disagree with that's free speech. That's I think that's harassment at that point. You can make the same argument that you have. I have the same rights. And these frauditor people do, the ones that they'll stand outside on the street and film at someone's apartment building, and they call, like, pointing the camera in their windows and stuff, and they'll call the cops on them, and the cops can't do anything about it because they're on public property, right? That kind of thing. Just because it's legal to do doesn't mean that it's acceptable behavior in public. We want to maintain public spaces where everybody feels safe and comfortable to be able to go and do their public business. I just want to talk about Taylor Swift. These people have lost their marbles. They'd be worshiping a woman who is living a life to be like Madonna. Angry, bitter feminist. I like T Swift though. I think she's adorable, and I think some of her messages have been misses, but not everybody's or nobody's perfect. I say not everybody's perfect. Nobody is. And so it begins. Christian persecution. He is the messenger. He is not making up his own stuff. Your very nation owes its existence to the very message that you now want to call harassment. The message is the word of God. Nobody wants to hear it, but we all need it. No, so around the time of the founding of our nation, Christianity had really fallen out of favor with the populace in favor of a Enlightenment era, at least among the ruling class, right? So the people that were founding countries were mostly naturalist and people were part of the Enlightenment from like the late 1700s all the way up into the 1850s. There's this period of time, and then we get Reformation and stuff, and the Catholic Church was always had a presence, but even among the population, they were not like considered the state church or anything like that. Now, to say that our nation is founded on Christian values is just laughable. The reporter is doxing him. He should be persecuted. I mean, prosecuted if it comes to shove when he's now being targeted. Mr. Batman puts his address and phone number and all that stuff on his website. It used to be on his website. His website's down now. He's very public about it. So I don't know why that would be considered doxing him. Yeah, so don't worry, Jim is very open about who he is. I guarantee you he was more upset that they blurred him out. His name and number are on his website and other media. He is an attention hog. Exactly. The truth hurts. Yeah. Talking about that lesbian couple, I guess. Those leses consciousness bothering them. Shoe fits, wear it. Oh, piss off. Whatever happened to sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It can hurt your business, though, if you have a freaking hate preacher with a megaphone across the street from your business telling all your customers that you're a disgusting pervert, then yeah, it can hurt you financially. If you are intimidated or threatened by this man, that means you're guilty. Guilty of what? Guilty of what, Bobby? The preacher doth protest too much, me think, yes. So the implication being that Mr. Batman's gay. I don't believe that. He has a wife. He seems to be happily married. Sounds like they may need to get a restraining order. That sounds like a possibility. What did the preacher do wrong? What did he do wrong, Hive? What did Mr. Batman do wrong? If an imam said any of this, it would not be treated with the same disdain. It's always against Christians. Oh, BS. There's any kind of street preacher from any direction. I think street preaching is gross in general. It's like people going on mission. Why are you shouldn't be proud of going on a mission. That'd be embarrassing. You're a freaking colonizer. Yeah. All right, let's see. And we have... Oh, that's that interview. I'm not going to watch that whole interview. Mr. Batman came on Tom Rabbitt's show and talked a little bit, but he wouldn't. I was hoping he'd talked about the accusations about the kids on the bus, but he doesn't talk about that. So I'm not going to bring it up. But this is going to be a shorter segment anyway. But this is Mr. Batman's Instagram, and this is the most recent video. Listen to this.
Well, here we are. I don't even know what today is. It's Tuesday. I think it's the 8th. Don't know. But we've got some crazy flipping neighbors. Just had the people who live down here on the corner.
Is there even a chance that Mr. Batman is not the crazy neighbor in this neighborhood? Is that even a possibility that he's not the crazy neighbor?
Corner. Down that way. Not where the trailer is, but the next one right to it. That one right there. They have a red truck and they pull a mowing equipment stuff. And the lady that was driving the mowing equipment today rolled down the window, pointed her finger at me like it was a gun, and started acting like she was shooting me. So if I wake up dead one day, or somebody show up dead one day, y'all just go look at that house right down there, right down here on the corner. Let me go ahead and make sure I get that good shot of that, because that's just craziness.
Yeah, and it's funny. People are like, "Oh, why would you dox Mr. Batman? That's a crime." Here he is, like, showing you where his neighbor's house is and their street address and everything. There's the street corner
of Opal and Montgomery. Those people live in that house right there. And they have threatened me more than once. The guys pulled a gun on me once. And now the lady just went by pointing her finger at me like she's pulling a trigger and going to shoot me. Well, if I end up dead, you know who to talk to. Okay.
So, yeah, he's like, FYI, just FYI, if I end up injured or dead, here's the people to go look to first. The lady that drives a red truck just drove by, rolled down her window, pointed her finger at me as if it was a gun, and acted like she was shooting me. Wow, you sound spooked. Are you okay? I'm sad. You're too drunk to come to. You're too drunk to come to the square. Have you considered not being a drunk bigot anyway? I would get drunk and be too scared to show my face too if I was as hateful as you. Yeah, repent or perish, blah, blah, blah. This is probably somebody local that is familiar with Mr. Batman's shenanigans. And street pride, derpy-der. Anyway, I think that's about it. That's about all I'm going to cover on the Mr. Batman situation. But I thought you guys...
I will beat your leftist ass.
No. Sorry about the Alex Jones popover. Yeah, that was some coverage on Mr. Batman's current situation. He alleges in the interview with Tom Rabbit, which you can go watch. Actually, you know what? I am going to drop that link. Here's the full conversation that Tom Rabbit had with Mr. Batman, and it's worth listening to. It's a dive into the psyche of this person, because he's the victim of all this. He's in his head, he's the one who's been victimized and come after. So yes. Anyway, so let me check here. I take Mr. Batman for a natural ice drinker. I don't know. I think he said something about wine in that one video, but this is not the one of him pissed drunk screaming at night. This one was hilarious, unless you already played it. I was AFK. Yeah, I did. I played talking about...
He's so fucking drunk.
Talking about this one here. Yeah, we watched him yelling at his neighbors.
You know, and one thing for sure
is being
the only reason that I do what I do. The only reason. I'm not touching your vehicle.
Yeah, that we watched that. It's a wild ride. The whole situation with Mr. Batman. Actually, I believe I engaged with Mr. Batman at one point on Amy Newman's channel, maybe, or was it? It might have been. I want to say maybe it was on Logical Probable Plausible's channel. I remember talking to him just very briefly. He called me a sexual pervert, and that was the end of it, really. I don't remember where it was. But I probably want to be engaging him again in the future, I wouldn't imagine. Every time I've seen somebody try to engage him about science, like debating evolution, like RJ tried to have a debate with him about the dinosaurs or that birds are dinosaurs, and he wanted to have an argument about abiogenesis. So, anyway, that was our creation watch for tonight. Please remember to be kind. Take care. And we will see you next time. All right, again, Hive, don't go anywhere. Don't leave because the show is not over. Just the end of Creation Watch. Actually, the largest segment of the day is going to be here in HiveSci because I really enjoyed doing the video that I did last week. So I'm doing something similar again. So stick around, and I will see you over on HiveSci. Over on HiveSci.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
He makes a whiskey drink, he makes a vodka drink, he makes a lager drink, he makes a cider drink. He sings songs that remind him of the good times, sings songs that remind him of the better times.
Oh, Johnny boy, Johnny boy, Johnny boy. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to a HiveScience review. Oh, goodness gracious, we got another video of really, really bad science. So I've been trying to punctuate this, right? Trying to punctuate this to my audience that these top 20, top 10 deadliest sharks, top 100 giant spiders, things like that, they're usually really bad. And we're gonna look at one today just to kind of give you an idea of what the problem is with these types of videos. So yeah, let's pop right in. So this is, you can't see it. It's the 20 dangerous insects you're glad are extinct. Now let's make sure we take that title in. Dangerous insects you're glad are extinct. Now insects is a very specific clade. Now we said bugs, I could say colloquially, yeah, we're fine, but we're not going to see insects making up the entirety of this list, unfortunately. But let's see what they have to say and why we're glad that these organisms are extinct, okay? So,
welcome to a new video. Are you fascinated by insects that once roamed our Earth? Nowadays, most people already dislike regular insects, but can you imagine?
I love regular insects, but I want to also note that the background music that they play during this is the same background music that they use for bedtime stories, a creepy horror story channel that I follow.
what they look like in the past, some of the insects that lived back then were much larger and also quite dangerous. Today we'll show you the 20 most dangerous insects that you're glad are extinct. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
I will
and before
not
we
be
start, also like the video.
I will not be recommending this video, and you will see why in just a moment.
Number 20. Anomalocaris was a large invertebrate that could reach a length of up to almost 16 inches or 40 centimeters, excluding its front appendages and tail fin. This insect lived about 500 million years ago, during the Cambrian period.
Okay.
It had a pair of large
So far, we're good.
eyes and swimming
We're good so far, except for
flaps along its body. The Anomalocaris was one of the largest predators of its time and had a very unusual way of catching its prey. Its front appendages had spiky hooks and were used to grasp prey. After grabbing the prey, it would be brought to the creature's sharp-toothed circular mouth to be crushed. Scientists believe this insect was an active hunter.
This was not an insect. It's not an insect. Stop right there. Do not call Anomalocaris an insect. Now, he's going to talk about that they thought it was a composition creature for a while, but let's punctuate that the Anomalocaris is absolutely not an insect.
Initially, Anomalocaris fossils were incorrectly identified as belonging to 3 separate creatures. However, this insect had a unique way of moving, using its swimming flaps to propel itself through the water in a snake-like manner. Anomalocaris was one of the largest animals of the Cambrian and is believed to have been a top predator. Despite its frightening appearance and predatory lifestyle, the Anomalocaris was not invincible, as it was hunted by similar species. Number 19. The Gigatitan was a huge insect that lived during the Permian era, which took place 298 to 200.
Okay, so the Gigatitan did not live during the Permian era. No, it lived after the Permian extinction event, the Permian Triassic extinction event. It lived in the Triassic, in the Middle Triassic. What they call the, what is the period here? Yeah, I don't have it up. I did take some notes for this, but this animal did not live during the Permian.
152 million years ago. This period was marked by some of the most dramatic changes in Earth's history, including the formation of the supercontinent Pangaea. There was also a mass extinction at the end of Permian, with about 96% of marine...
Permian. Yeah, I mean, and this organism that we're talking about here didn't exist until well after the Permian extinction event.
Species and 70% of terrestrial species dying out. The Gigatitan was a predatory extinct insect with a wingspan of 28 inches or 71 centimeters. Additionally, it had...
Oh, whoa. 16 inches, 40 centimeters is the wingspan. 16 inches. What did he say?
Was a predatory extinct insect with a wingspan of 28 inches or 71
No.
centimeters.
Where are you getting that from? No, that's false. False information. Wrong.
It had large wings that were covered with a network of veins, which provided support and strength for flight.
Okay.
These wings were attached to a sturdy, muscular thorax, which also housed the insect's powerful legs. An interesting fact about the Gigatitan is that it wasn't a true dragonfly.
It wasn't even closely related to dragonflies. It's an orthopteran, which is like the grasshopper family. Grasshoppers, crickets, waders, cave crickets, the hoppy guys. It wasn't related to dragonflies at all.
But belonged to a group of insects known as megarid flies. These insects were some...
Not megarid flies. No. They belong to an extinct genus called a Titanothera, which is basically the giant wings, because they were really these big giant members of the grasshopper family. But they're not unreasonably large. I mean, 16 inches is pretty huge. But there's some large katydids today. The greater arid land katydid has like a 9-inch wingspan. They're huge. But yeah, this is not the stuff he's saying is all wrong.
One of the largest and most ruthless predators of the Permian era, capable of capturing and eating other insects, as well as small reptiles and amphibians. Imagine how terrifying it would have been if humans had lived during this period. Number 18. The Megalograptus was one of the earliest known predatory arthropods and played a crucial role in
Arthropods, not anthropods. But am I being too harsh on this guy? He's trying to do an educational video, but he's arthropods. Arthropods just means the only time that anthropod would be appropriate is describing a human, maybe a cyborg human, like a robot, or an alien or something. That's where you'd use the term anthropod, something that moves like a human. Like all the races from Star Trek are anthropod races, but arthropod is what we're talking about. Arthropod, not anthropod. But yeah, let's hear that back.
Known predatory arthropods and played a crucial role in shaping early marine ecosystems. The Megalograptus was a sea scorpion that lived during the Silurian era, around 430 million years ago. It was
not during the Silurian era, during the Ordovician era, before the Silurian era. This the time frame's wrong. Again, Megalopterus lived during the Ordovician, the late Ordovician, which is before the Silurian.
The kind of aquatic predator that would have lived in a shallow sea and reef environment. It was also one of the largest arthropods of its time, with a body length of up to 40 inches or 1 meter. In addition to its long body, it had a pair of large claws.
78 centimeters, 2.7 feet, so much smaller than what he's advising here. The sizes on most of the stuff we're talking about have been exaggerated. Jesus.
Claws at the front, which it used to capture and crush its prey. It also had long, thin legs, which allowed it to move through the water.
Well, and big fat paddle legs too. Had some thin legs, had big paddles so it could swim as well.
However, its body was covered with a hard external skeleton that provided protection and support. One of the most interesting features of the Megalograptus was its respiratory system. Instead of gills, it absorbed oxygen from the water through small plate-like structures on its external skeleton.
Yeah, they were like book gills is what we kind of compare them to, which you do see in some modern organisms. All right, 17. What are you going to throw at me next?
Number 17. The Titanomyarme, better known as the giant ant, was a prehistoric ant that lived during the Eocene epoch, around 34...
Eocene epoch. You don't say epoch. Unless you have some kind of accent I'm not picking up on. It's epoch. The Eocene epoch. At least you got the right one, so I'll give you points for that.
4 to 56 million years ago. The Titanomyarme was one of the largest ants that ever existed, with a body length of up to 2 inches or 5 centimeters. It's believed to have been a top.
So when they say that, it's comparable in size to Doriolis, the driver ants like that you see in East Africa and Central Africa, the ones that can eat a baby and you have to be careful about. They have the big soldiers with the huge fangs. Their queens can get absolutely massive. The males are also quite large. They call them sausage flies, and they're freaking like 3 or 4 inches long. But like the average size of a driver ant is right around the same size as Titanomyrma or Myrma. Yeah. He doesn't have an accent. He's never opened a book. I know the stuff I know, Ryan, and that's kind of what it is. It's like when I see someone, like last week this guy made a video about Gigantopithecus versus Tyrannosaurus. It was awful. So I'm gonna have to trim that out and share it with you guys so you can see it. But this one is also been quite terrible so far. But we're only 3 or almost 4 minutes into a 22-minute video.
Top predator in its ecosystem, hunting other insects and even small vertebrates. There were 2 types of Titanomyarme. Titanomiarme gigantea and Titanomiarme similima. However, the Titanomiarme gigantea was larger and more aggressive. The giant.
Well, so you're inferring behavior. We don't know if it could have been. This could have been a leaf cutter too that farmed fungus and all that good stuff. We don't know for sure if it was predatory. We don't know with this species yet. As far as its paleo ecology, it was kind of up in the air. There's been suggestions different ways, but right now to say that it was for sure a predator, that's just silly. Yeah, at least the Kung Fu was entertaining. That's true.
Giant ant also had a distinctive jaw structure that served to easily capture prey. And scientists think it also had a venomous sting. The size of this ant is believed to be linked to the concentration of oxygen.
Yeah, the sting's fine. That's completely acceptable. There's a lot of ants that have stings, you know. It's not out of the question. Even herbivorous ants that sting. Yeah. Hal Prager says menstruation. How's he say it? Menstruation, something like that. He just says it really weird.
Oxygen in the atmosphere during the Isani Posh. At that time,
Eocene epoch.
Oxygen levels were higher than they are now, which possibly enabled insects to reach larger sizes.
The only place, because I looked this up, I was like, I've never heard an argument that the oxygen levels were higher during the Eocene. To make it clear, like when you talk about the Eocene, you're not, it's not like a super long time ago or anything. It's the Eocene's within the last, let me see here. Let me get a time frame for the Eocene, just a second. So I don't want to get it wrong, but yeah. 56 to 33 million years ago. So not like when we talk about time periods with different oxygen levels, right? We're talking about the Paleozoic era, the Cambrian, the Ordovician, the Silurian, the Devonian, and even we get up into the Carboniferous. That's what in the Permian. That's where the oxygen levels. The Carboniferous ended with the oxygen levels at I think the highest that they've ever been historically. Not historically, it's not historic, but prehistorically, I guess. But the oxygen levels peaked at the end of the Carboniferous. As far as I'm aware, the Eocene, while the oxygen levels maybe, let's see, the start of the Eocene is marked by a brief period in which concentrations of carbon isotope, that's C13, in the atmosphere was exceptionally low in comparison to the more common isotope, carbon-12. The end is set at a major extinction event. Okay. Yeah, so we know that. But I've not ever heard any claims that the oxygen levels were different enough to allow insects to grow large in the Eocene. The only place I saw a reference to that impacting this specific species of ant was on a Young Earth Creationist website, right? But they think they lump them all together because any large insect, any large animal at all is evidence of their pre-flood world. They don't think that there's different time periods. So they think they're all, like all the big insects, all the big animals, all the dinosaurs and everything lived in one ecosystem where there was just full of giant animals, is the argument. Not that they had a balanced ecosystem with different sizes of different animals and stuff. Anyway.
Despite its size, it was still an efficient and cooperative member of its colony. It's believed to have functioned much like modern ants, with a clear division of labor. Can you imagine thousands of ants the size of this coming at you? Quite a creepy thought. Number 16. Initially, when the megarachne was found, it was thought to be a giant spider.
Oh, God.
But later, studies revealed that it was a sea scorpion, known as a...
We know megarachne, right? Everybody knows megarachne. If you don't, I recommend watching Walking with Beasts. Walking with Monsters, not Walking with Beasts. But you need to watch Walking with Beasts, too, just because. But if you watch Walking with Monsters, you'll better understand Bree. You'll better understand me. Megarachne was they thought was a giant spider. It's, yeah, like you said, it was a Eurypterid. So, not wrong there. But the depiction of the giant spider in Walking with Monsters was built on this this model of Megarachne as a giant prehistoric spider, and then they found out it was a Eurypterid, not a spider. They'd already made too much of the movie or the documentary to scrap it. It was too much of an important organism that they switched it to just a mesotheliid spider, which there's mesotheliid spiders today.
Eurypterid. Eurypterids are an extinct group of aquatic arthropods that lived during the Paleozoic
Arthropods
era, which extended from 541 to 251 million years ago. The species of Megarachne was first discovered in the 1980s, based on a fossilized imprint found in Argentina. Since then, further research has been conducted to better understand this fascinating creature. It's believed to have lived in shallow seas, and used its powerful claws to capture and kill prey. One of the most notable features of the Megarachne, however, was its size. Initially, it was thought that its legs spanned an estimated 13 feet or 4 meters. However, the estimate was later challenged by scientists.
And that's one of the, when I was a kid, I remember reading, they had like a kid's book on prehistoric animals, talking about how during the Paleozoic there were 4-meter spiders and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I want to learn more about them. And I started, and as I got older and started researching it more, it became very apparent that it was not something that actually existed. It was something based on what one person interpreted on this fossil as a giant aquatic spider that was ancestral to modern spiders. And that was the idea of what this organism was when I was a child, right? So I grew up with the idea of this, and so I was super disappointed to find out that there were not really giant spiders, and that the spiders that we have today are actually the largest. But this one, he talks about living in shallow seas. We actually think that that Megarachne, not as it's shown living here on land, but that it actually lived in freshwater environments and like floodplains, and it may have even ventured onto land like crabs, with a very crab-like lifestyle.
With some suggesting it was smaller. Despite its smaller size, the Megarachne is still an important species to study, as it provides insights into the evolutionary history of arthropods.
And it's still huge. And arthropods. I'm gonna, every time he says arthropods, I'm gonna stop it and say arthropods.
Namely, the Megarachne and other Eurypterids belong to the early...
That's not a Eurypterid. That's a Anomalocaris, which I think you already talked about, so you know that's not a Eurypterid.
These arthropods that evolved. Number 15.
Arthropods.
The Dinocroton draculae, also known as Dracula, is a giant extinct tick that lived during the Cretaceous period, about 99 million years ago. It was...
Yes! He nailed it. Got the time right, even down to the year. Because we only have, I think we only have the one fossil of this. It's an amber find with the dinosaur feathers.
First identified in 2014 when a fossil was found in a piece of amber, allowing the tick to be preserved in exceptional detail. The species was named Dracula due to its long pointed mouth parts, which resemble the fangs of the famous vampire. Like modern ticks, the Dinocroton draculae feed on the blood of other animals. While it's not exactly clear which animal this specific species preyed upon, it's thought that it possibly targeted dinosaurs, as feathers from a dinosaur were...
It was literally found in a dinosaur feather, not just to suggest that it wasn't a dinosaur parasite is kind of a stretch. I don't know. I mean, we're never completely 100% sure, but yeah. Become crab. Yes, Ring. Let's all become crab.
Found in the same amber specimen as the tick. What makes this tick so interesting, however, are its unusual mouth parts. Unlike modern ticks, which have knife-like mouth parts to cut into the skin, the Dinocroton draculae had long barb-like structures, with which it pierced the skin of its prey. This suggests that the tick might have had a different method of latching onto its host than the modern ticks do.
Yeah.
Number 14.
Which is fine. That's fine for the ticks to have different different mouth parts. And you know, I don't disagree with anything he said there. As a matter of fact, I think this might have been the tick might have been the best researched invertebrate on this list so far, because this list is just invertebrates. I mean, it's not even just arthropods, as you're gonna see soon.
Modifica putus is an extinct species of cockroach that lived during the Cretaceous period, about 100 million years ago. One of the most notable characters.
Yes. So, and then we're going to see these numbers a lot because 99 to 100 million years ago is where these amber deposits are in Myanmar. Burmese amber is what they call it sometimes. Very problematic. But this is interesting dicterin, all right? It's in Blattaria, right? So it's in the cockroach family. Or cockroach order, I should say, but it's very distinct. Let me. It is very. You'll see why, looking at this organism, why the divergence, why and when the divergence of mantises and cockroaches. Why we know that there weren't cockroaches in the Paleozoic, because this is what cockroaches looked like in the Cretaceous. They were still very mantis-like.
Characteristics of this species is its elongated forelegs, which were likely used to grasp and manipulate objects, hence the name manipulator. This unique adaptation is different from what we see in living cockroach species and suggests a highly specialized lifestyle. Based on morphology, scientists believe that this cockroach possibly lived in a challenging environment.
So there's some dispute about this, some recent dispute, because for a long time this is a predatory cockroach, and there are other predatory cockroaches in the fossil record, and they do have mantis-like raptorial forearms for grabbing prey when they need to. There has also been put forth the idea that this animal was feeding on flowers, like a pollinator, which is not out of the question, considering this niche was new at the time in the Cretaceous, late Cretaceous, and that flowers flowers and their pollinators were kind of finding their balance. It wouldn't be surprising to learn that there was a dedicated pollinator that was a cockroach at one point in the fossil record. However, none of this is for certain at this point. A lot of it is going to come with study of the mandibles, but we'll see what happens.
With many obstacles and vegetation. Another unique feature of this cockroach species is a modification to its hind leg, which is likely used as a sensory antenna, providing the cockroach with additional info about its surroundings.
No. Sensory antenna? Where are we getting that from? I have not seen any papers indicating that the manipulator had sensory organs on its hind limbs. And I'm not saying it's out of the question that's not a possibility, but a lot of insects with long hind limbs, when insects have long hind limbs, it can indicate a couple of things. Depending on the structure of them, long hind limbs can be used for leaping, but they're also efficient for an arboreal lifestyle, for climbing, for like mantises, again, are a good example, but stick insects as well. They'll have elongated hind limbs that help them to stretch their body a little bit further to reach foliage that would normally be out of reach.
This modification is not seen in any other known cockroach species. Therefore, the discovery of this cockroach provides valuable insights into the evolutionary history and the adaptations that enable these insects to survive in diverse environments for millions.
Yeah, but you can see the structure here. Look at that. That's very mantis-like. See, with the stance of the legs, with that Yeah. Anyway.
Of years. As cockroaches are such successful and resilient organisms, it may also tell us more about the natural history of the planet. Number 13. The Meganeuropsis permiana was one of the largest...
Meganeuropsis! Finally! I love Meganeuropsis. Let's do this. Griffin fly.
Insects that ever lived, with a wingspan of more than 27 inches or 70 centimeters. In comparison, the largest wingspan of a living dragonfly is only about
28 inches. It's a high end. We generally look at like 13-inch. So not like that, but 27 inches is not completely out of the question for the species.
0.5 inches or 19 centimeters. This prehistoric species lived during the Permian period, about 275 million years ago. They likely fed on...
Good. That's accurate. Accurate time period. Well, not sure. He said 207. Did he say 275? Because 283 to... or 290 to 283 is generally what we're talking about. So a little bit earlier, but I don't know if he's maybe looking. Let me look and see. Maybe he's looking at info on griffin flies in general. But no, griffin flies in general have a much larger gap of time that they cover.
Small insects and small vertebrate animals, using their sharp jaws to grab their prey. They probably also use their impressive size and strength to ward off potential predators. The Meganeuropsis was adapted for flight, with large transparent wings and a relatively lightweight body. However, their size may have made flying a challenge, and scientists suspect that they might have had to rely on gliding.
What? Oh my. You're gonna have to substantiate that claim. No, griffin flies could fly efficiently. They were the idea that these animals were gliding. I don't know where that's coming from at all. They definitely have the structure for powered flight.
To stay in the air for extended times. Like many other species, this insect eventually went extinct about 252 million years ago, during the Permian-Triassic extinction event. The Permian-Triassic was the most...
It was long gone before the Permian-Triassic extinction event, my dude. What's the age? It's the Artinskian age, which was not the final stage of the Permian period. These guys didn't live to the end of the Permian extinction event. Griffin flies died out at the end of the Permian event, but this species was long gone before then.
Severe extinction event in Earth's history, with over 90% of all marine species and more than 70% of all vertebrate animal species disappearing.
Why is it showing the extinction of the dinosaurs? That's not the same. Why couldn't it show the Dimetrodons at least? Not the Dimetrodons were around at the end of the Permian either, but that would have been better.
These dragonflies lived during the period when the first mammals and the first dinosaurs were evolving. Could you imagine what it would have been like to see these giant dragonflies flying over your head? Number 12. The Mongoloarachni were some of the largest spiders that ever existed, with a legs...
False! Not even close. Not even close. There's like several spiders around today that are larger. It's not even the largest Nephilia that we know of.
Span of up to 6 inches or 15 centimeters. In comparison, the average spider today has a leg span of only a few inches or centimeters.
But not the large spiders. And you show tarantulas there. I said, say tarantulas, the average leg span of a species of tarantula is probably about 2.5 to 3 inches. But among those species, there are several that regularly exceed leg span of 10 inches, which is huge. It's huge. 10 inches. 10-inch leg span. So, make no mistake, spiders today are the biggest that we know of. Tarantulas today are the biggest that we know of. And when it comes to Nephilia, we got golden silk orb weavers that actually they do eat dinosaurs. They eat birds all the time.
This colossal spider sprawled the Earth during the Jurassic period, around 165 million years ago. The Jurassic period was a time of significant evolutionary innovation, during which many new species of plants and animals evolved. The Mongol
Damn it, John Hudson. High above the mucky muck castle made of cloud, there sits Wonder Boy sitting oh so proudly. There you go.
was just one example of this incredible diversity of life that existed at the time. It turns out these spiders were predators, likely feeding on small...
It turns out these spiders were predators, guys. Spiders were predators.
Vertebrate animals and other insects. Their large size and strength made them fierce hunters, capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. Scientists believe
they lived in webs, so they didn't have to worry about taking down prey with their strength or their size. They get tangled in their webs.
that the Mongol arachne lived in burrows that were...
No, what? No, what did you just say?
Themselves. Scientists believe that the Mongol arachne lived in burrows that were...
No! It's a Nephilia! It lives in a web, a big web! A big, big web that catches things flying. No! You are wrong! Oh my gosh.
Up to nearly 3 feet or 1 meter deep. These burrows may have...
They didn't live in burrows! What are you talking about?
...served as a protection and refuge from other predators in harsh environmental conditions. If you're already afraid of spiders, you'll probably be very glad that this spider species is extinct, huh? Number 11.
Oh.
The Optonoporissus bermanicus is a genus of extinct wasps that contains 8 known species, and it's the only genus in the family of Optonoporisidae. The wasps in this genus stand out for their unique appearance, which is compared to the combination of an ant, a grasshopper, and a wasp.
Well, ants are wasps, so let's be clear here. As far as the grasshopper thing, they just say that because it has the thick back legs. The fossil does. It doesn't actually look anything like a grasshopper other than that.
Thanks to one specimen that was remarkably well preserved, scientists were able to study the wasp in detail. The remarkable fossil showed a well-preserved head, but due to the preservation process, the abdomen was flattened. The wasp is thought to have a slender body with a distinctive neck-like structure. The head was elongated and had a large compound eye, antenna, and strong jaws. The wings are clear with visible veins and small hairs, and the legs were long and slender, resembling those of a grasshopper.
Yeah.
The specimen found...
It does look kind of ant-like, and it had big, powerful legs for hopping.
...was a female. It's a wingless wasp, but it's believed that this species lost its wings due to dense vegetation in the surrounding environment. Number 10.
So there's a lot of wasp species that where the females don't have wings, right? A lot of wasp species where just the males are flying around and the females are wanderers.
Trilobites were among the first animals to develop eyes, with some species possessing very complex and advanced visual systems. They belong to the earliest...
I will allow that. I don't know how true that is about developing eyes. There's certainly some of the earliest eye structures that we're able to study because of the way that the trilobites are preserved, because of their high calcium content, that we're able to get a good idea of what they looked like. They're so robust in the fossil record.
Known arthropods and ruled the shallow water.
Arthropods.
To the vast depths of the ocean. Trilobites lived in the early Cambrian to the end of the Permian, approximately 520 to 251 million years ago. They were incredibly diverse, with over 20,000
good time frame. Good.
different species known from the fossil record. Their bodies were divided into three main parts: the head, thorax, and tailpiece, with distinctive legs attached to the...
And people get confused sometimes and think that that trilobite is that the tri part is the head, the body with the legs, and then the tail area. And actually, it's because they're divided into three sides here. They're like this side, the middle, and then this side. So there's like two lobes on either side of the body, which is unique, a unique structure and not seen in modern day invertebrates.
Thorax. Despite their diversity and success over millions of years, they died out around the same time as the dinosaurs.
He did the time right. 200 or 500. He said 520 to 252, which is 521 to 251.9 million years ago. Then he said they died out at the same time as the dinosaurs. He said they died out at the same time as the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs did not die out in the Permian Triassic extinction event. The dinosaurs died in the Cretaceous extinction event, the PKG. They did not die out in the same extinction event. I got to hear that again. I think he said it.
In success over millions of years, they died out around the same time as the dinosaurs. Can you believe there were so many scary and large insects on Earth back then? Let me know in those comments.
Definitely not an insect.
Parapuzosa separendensis is an extinct species.
Also not an insect.
Of ammonite that lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 83 to 71 million years ago.
99 to 71 million years ago.
Inhabited the marine environments of what is now Westphalia, Germany. It's the largest known species of ammonite, with a shell that could reach up to 4 feet, or 1.2 meters in diameter, and weigh over 220 pounds.
Wow, for the first time he shortchanged them. The largest ammonites shells that we have are 6 foot 6 inches, so 2 meters, 2 full meters. So this is the first time he's shortchanged a species on this list.
100 kilograms. However, it's unclear whether the ammonite was a fast swimmer or mainly lived in the seabed. The exact size is a matter of debate, as many specimens are incomplete or damaged. But scientists agree that there were no larger ammonites than this one. The name ammonite comes from the spiral shape of the animal's shell, which is thought to resemble the horns of an ancient Egyptian god, Ammon. These distinctive spirals of ammonite shells have been used as a symbol for the interconnectivity of everything.
Yeah, these are very, and ammonite shells are very popular bookmarking tools for the fossil record, right? It'd be used to index the record. The trilobites too, that we just talked about a second ago, but both are really good or really preserving in the fossil records. They are distinctive for their time period, so they can tell us how old each layer is. Just by their presence there, we know.
Number 8. Arthropleura is the largest millipede that ever lived and could reach an incredible length of 8.5 feet or 2.6 meters long. This animal was found in the coal swamps in Scotland.
8.2 feet, but 2.5 meters. That's fine. That's fine. The coal swamps of Nova Scotia and Scotland. Is that what you're going to say?
North America, and lived during the late Carboniferous period, about 300 million years ago. They
lived into the Permian too. Arthropleura lived the Carboniferous. I mean, they are a distinct character of the Carboniferous for sure. But Arthropleura did survive the Carboniferous rainforest collapse extinction event that bridged between the Carboniferous and the Permian period.
Arthropleura was a herbivore and fed on plants and other plant material it could find in wooded areas. It likely used its powerful jaws to grind tough plant material, similar to herbivorous insects such as grasshoppers and beetles today. Despite its impressive...
Why not compare it to millipedes today? Because there's still millipedes today. There's still millipedes that that follow this body structure today. Feathered millipedes, they're tiny, but they look just like this. They have a tiny
size,
Arthropleura.
the Arthropleura was not a predator and probably posed no threat to other larger animals. Its main defense mechanism was probably its sturdy external skeleton, which provided protection against predators and environment.
You know, I was watching Based Theory and Dr. Dino the other day doing a tier list of prehistoric animals. Which ones were the most, like, would win in a fight was the central idea. But Arthropleura was on the list, and they were disputing whether or not that it could defeat a Australopithecus. I think an Australopithecus would just destroy this animal, honestly. Like, smash its head. It's not I know that, like, if you watch these old documentaries and stuff, Walking with Monsters is one of them. They make it like it's a cobra. Like it's the cobra of its day. It's like whoosh, and get big fangs and stuff. Not present in this organism at all. It probably could not rear up in any way. Centipedes can, and there may have been some absolutely massive centipedes we haven't pinned down yet. There's some dubious fossils. We might talk about that sometime in the future.
Environmental hazards. The extinction of the Arthropleura is still a topic of debate among scientists. Some believe that changes in climate and vegetation patterns during the late Carboniferous contributed to its demise, while others suggest that more complex ecosystems and the evolution of new apex predators in the area played a role.
No doubt.
Number 7.
Could be both. Could be both.
Radiodonts like Cambrobroster are often called sea monsters due to their unusual and bizarre appearance. Cambrobroster is an extinct genus.
Back to the Burgess Shale. Woo!
Of herded radiodonts that lived during the Middle Cambrian approximately 505 to 510 million years ago. This unique insect is a monotypic genus.
It's not an
the only known
insect.
Species
Absolutely not an insect. No. No. Bad.
within the genus. The name Cambrobroster is derived from the characteristic claws of the animal, which consisted of a series of parallel protrusions. These sharp claws were used to capture food and may have been adapted to the intricate ecosystems of the oceans.
I think like filter feeding maybe was the idea with these combs. There's comb-like appendages that would sweep down and collect organisms from the environment. Titanochorus was actually bigger than this one, but there's not a lot of radiodonta that even approach this size. So of the species, especially the Burgess Shale, this thing is absolutely monstrous. It's about a foot long, about as big as a $5 foot long.
The marine creature belonged to a diverse group of arthropods that were once among the most dominant and
arthropods.
Successful predators in the oceans. They were also known for their bizarre and highly often specialized anatomical features, such as their complex spiny spines and multi-segmented limbs. Despite their intimidating appearance, some species preyed only on small animals and plankton, while others scavenged carcasses or engaged in filter feeding.
Yeah, filter feeding's prominent for this species is the leading theory. But you're right, there were other species that fed in other ways, but...
Number 6. Campanile giganteum is an exceptionally large fossil sea snail that lived in the oceans during the Eocene epoch. The shells of these sea snails are often found...
Eocene epoch. Eocene epoch.
found in rock layers that also contain fossils of other ancient animals, providing important clues about the ecology of the oceans millions of years ago. It's believed that these sea snails lived on Earth 56 to 34 million years ago. They belong to the family of Campanilidae, a group of marine mollusks known for their distinctive elongated shells. This sea snail was remarkable for its size, with its shell reaching lengths of 4 feet or 120 centimeters, making it one of the largest species of mollusks to have ever lived.
So, yeah, 120 centimeters, yeah, 47 inches. Yeah, we're so far, this is right up there with the tick so far. As far as I can tell, this has been fairly accurate.
However, other animals had to be cautious around this creature, as its shells had a sharp pointed tip and a series of fine rib-like ridges. Campanile giganteum is primarily found in the Paris Basin in France, where it lived in shallow marine waters. Like other members of its family, it likely fed on small organisms, such as plankton and other microorganisms.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Good job.
Echolopterus is an
Gigolopterus, yay! We're back to Eurypterids.
Extinct aquatic arthropod that was predatory and lived in our oceans over 400 million years ago. This species was first described in 1914 by...
Not an anthropod, an arthropod. I cannot say it how many times. Arthropod. Arthropod. Get it through your thick head clod.
German geologist named Otto Jekyll. These creatures are known as sea scorpions, although they are not true scorpions. The largest species of Echolopterus is believed to have grown up to 8 feet, 4 inches, or 2.5 meters long, making it one of the largest arthropods in the history of the Earth. Despite its large size,
Arthropod.
Echolopterus was a fast swimmer, and likely capable of swiftly pursuing and capturing its prey. It had a long segmented body with a pair of large pincer-like claws at the front. Like other sea scorpions,
I actually got to stand next to the one in the Field Museum. It is absolutely massive. It was like, I don't know, like 2 times my height. It was so huge. It was so cool to get to see it. So if you get a chance to go to the Field Museum, take it.
Scorpions, it was a powerful predator, and prey such as fish and other aquatic animals stood no chance. Fossils of this creature have been found in various parts of the world, including Europe, North America, and South America.
Yeah, it's pretty
Scientists
cosmopolitan.
believe that it played an important role as a top predator and contributed significantly to the evolution of other species. Number 4. Paleodictyoptera was a group of large extinct flying insects that were abundant approximately 300 million years ago.
He's showing a dragonfly here. It's not a dragonfly. Not closely related to dragonflies. If you look into it diverged from other insects, like at the Pterygoda level, right? So way back. This is not closely related to anything alive today. It diverged shortly after the ancestors like silverfish and bristletails and firebrats and stuff diverged. It's not a dragonfly, and it really doesn't look too much like a dragonfly either. These are sometimes called the six-winged insects, because they have this like pseudo wing thing at the front of their body. Thoracic segment is what it is. It's not made up of the same genes as the wings, though.
These insects were characterized by their broad, flat wings, spanning several inches.
See, I guess the little ones in the front there. But they're not really, you could call them winglets, I guess. Sorry, I clicked
4
the wrong way.
centimeters, and supported by a network of veins. The most well-known Paleodictyoptera belonged to the family Megacycoptera, which included some of the largest insects ever known. These insects had wingspans that could reach over 20 inches or 50 centimeters. They were likely opportunistic feeders, consuming...
They had really long cercid too, which is the prong things that stick out the back end of insects. They're called cerci, but these guys had really long ones. So they'd make it look a lot more massive than it actually was when it was flying too. But yeah, the 22-inch wingspan is not out of the question for this organism.
A variety of plant material, insects, and other small animals. Their wings would have enabled them to glide over long distances and make rapid turns, making them agile hunters. Paleodictyoptera has also been a significant source of information about the evolution of wings and insects. Their wings differ in several ways from that of modern insects, including their shape, the way they are supported, and how they stabilize the wings during flight. Like other insects, they
very different in their anatomy, in their flight anatomy.
Eventually went extinct about 300 to 250 million years ago. The exact cause of their extinction is unknown, but it's thought to have been caused by a combination of factors. Number 3. Opabinia regalis was first described by Charles Doolittle Walcott in 1912.
Wait, what? Opabinia. Opabinia is the name. Sorry for the confusion there. For a second there, I didn't realize what he said.
Consider this creature to be described by Charles Doolittle. Number 3. Opabinia regalis was first described by Charles Doolittle
Opabinia
Walcott in 1912. He considered this creature to be the most primitive of all arthropods due to its unusual anatomy.
Arthropod.
And the absence of certain arthropod-like features. This creature lived during the Cambrian period, approximately 508 million years ago. Opabinia regalis
505, pretty close.
This was found in the Burgess Shale, a rich deposit
Burgess Shale
of well-preserved fossils in British Columbia, Canada. It was a small marine animal, reaching a length of up to almost 3 inches, or 7 centimeters. 2 of its eyes were attached to stalks, while the third pair...
Only small by our modern standards. During at the time that it lived, it was a giant at that size.
There wasn't. It also had a distinctive body shape with a long body and 5 pairs of swimming flaps on the underside. The most remarkable feature was a long flexible proboscis that extended from the front of the body and ended in a grasping claw. It had
I want a clawed proboscis on my face. That's not fair. I don't have any proboscis at all. Not clawed or anything.
Trouble seizing small prey, such as worms or other invertebrates from the seafloor.
That's not a worm or an invertebrate. That's a fish.
The swimming flaps would have allowed it to move through the water.
There would not have been fish around at this time, by the way. Just so we
in a
clear.
Series of undulating motions, similar to how a caterpillar moves. They were also covered in small appendages called setae, which likely helped the creature grip the seafloor.
Well, setae's not necessarily considered appendages. Setae's more comparable to a hair or a feather. It's a structural accoutrement.
Number 2. Isotellus rex is an impressive specimen, estimated to have been about 28 inches or 70 centimeters long, making it one of the largest trilobites known to science. This is a tremendous size compared to the most other trilobites.
Tremendous, like Trump would say. It's tremendous.
By fossils that were found, which are usually only about a few inches or centimeters long. So when a discovery of the largest known trilobite fossil was made, it excited scientists to learn more about it. The fossil consists of a nearly complete dorsal shield. A dorsal shield is the protective covering that runs along the top of the body, and it was found at a site in Manitoba, Canada. Isotellus rex was like...
I do like how Manitoba, Canada, and they show a lake. It's like, yep, that's Manitoba.
A predator that hunted worms and other invertebrates on the seafloor. It's believed to have scuttled along the bottom of the ocean.
It also did not live alongside seahorses, because there were not those types of organisms around at that time. We're talking the Ordovician for this guy.
Utilizing a combination of its numerous legs and flexible body segments to easily locate its prey.
I mean, I'm welcome to prove me wrong if you find the ancestor to seahorses in the Ordovician. I'll eat my hat, but I have not seen anything about it.
Despite its size, Isotellus rex was well adapted to the ocean life. It's heavily armored.
Why would you say despite its size, though? That's weird.
Exoskeleton provided protection against predators and also aided in regulating its buoyancy. And thanks to its many legs, it can move quickly and efficiently through the water. Number 1. Permanent Scorpius is an extinct...
I love Pulmonoscorpius. I love it. It's like one of my favorite extinct animals of all time. I know lots about it. So, what are you going to try to spin here, my friend? What are you going to try to sell me on?
Species of scorpion that lived during the early Carboniferous period, approximately 330 million years ago. This
middle Carboniferous, but yeah, your date that you give is right in the middle of its range. Sure.
Species is one of the largest scorpions ever discovered, with the largest known individual estimated to be over 28 inches or 70 centimeters long. Fossil remains of this killer scorpion were first found in the Kirkton Formation of Scotland. Surprisingly, this prehistoric scorpion had soft tissue that was well preserved. This has allowed scientists to study the anatomy and behavior in greater detail compared to other fossils that have been found. Pulmonoscorpius kirktonensis likely inhabited various aquatic and semi-aquatic environments, including rivers, lakes...
No, it was terrestrial. Absolutely not. You were doing so good. You were doing good. And then you went to the water with Pulmonoscorpius. Let's break that down. Do you know what pulmono means? Pulmono means lung. These organisms had lungs. Not gills, lungs. They had book lungs. That's what they're famous for, having book lungs. So no, they did not live in an aquatic environment. These were terrestrial animals, fully terrestrial animals. They may have lived in burrows. Oh my goodness. Glad this was the last one. This has been fun, actually. I don't know how much more I can take, but it's been fun.
Lakes and swamps. It was also a highly effective predator, using its sharp claws and venomous sting to capture prey. One of the most notable features of this scorpion is its ability to breathe air, making it one of the earliest known scorpions to have developed this adaptation.
Well, it's the oldest that we have the lungs, right? That we have, that we're fully sure was completely terrestrial and had lungs.
Extinct insect would you like to see brought back to life? Let us know in those comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
All right. So that was bad, right? Was that bad? What do you guys think? Was that like some terrible science for you? Oh my goodness. Oh. No, I'm good. I'm gonna survive. Yeah, 7% correct on accident, by accident. Well, before I wrap up, I do have one more piece of eco news to go over with you guys. So thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed this type of segment where we dive into one of these bad science videos and explain why it's bad and how the information is incorrect and why you shouldn't do these top 10, top 20 lists, why you shouldn't take anything they say serious. Yeah, pretty sure it's a lazy content mill. I'm going to call them out, though. I'm going to call them out because people actually click on this and believe the stuff that these people tell them. So I'm going to call it out. Anyway, for the folks watching this on Monday, Anyway, for the people watching this tonight, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right. So for my Live from the Hive audience, I have one more science segment for you. I know, the science segment. It's time to learn something. We had our fun. We looked at some black goo. We looked at Mr. Batman. We had a really bad science paleontology video. Now it is time to learn. All right. Around 13,000 years ago, humans and fire changed LA's ecosystem forever. Mammals like ancient bison and dire wolves couldn't survive the fiery shift. By about 11,700 years ago, most large land mammals outside of Africa had gone extinct. Scientists have long debated whether these extinctions were primarily caused either by human activity or a changing climate, as the last ice age came to a close. The new study of the remains of animals trapped long ago in the La Brea tar pits is what's now Los Angeles suggests both factors worked in concert to bring about the demise of the region's megafauna. A warming, drying climate plus human hunting and burning of the landscape led to large fires that precipitated the end of the Pleistocene die-offs. They're around 13,000 years ago and forever changed the ecosystem, researchers reported in August 18th in Science. The findings reflect the reality of nature, which is that phenomena are rarely, if ever, driven by a single factor, says Danielle Fraser, a paleoecologist at the Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa, who was not involved in the research. The type of climate-human synergy implication in the demise of California's biggest beasts may warn of dramatic upheaval in modern ecosystems subjected to ongoing human-caused climate change, the researcher says. Southern California, for instance, has warmed more than 2 degrees Celsius over the last century, a more rapid change in the area faced during the earlier time periods. In the new study, F. Robin O'Keefe, a paleontologist and evolutionary biologist at Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia, colleagues were initially studying the remains of ancient carnivores that had been stuck and dried in the asphalt seep of La Brea, investigating how the animals had physically changed over many thousands of years. Then the researchers found evidence of an extinction event recorded in the tar pit's fossil record. We had lots and lots of megafauna, and then suddenly they were gone, O'Keefe says. The team started gathering data in more species, and all the research dated remains from 172 individuals from 8 megafauna species from 10,000 to about 15,600 years ago. Included were extinct animals like saber-toothed cats, Smilodon fatalis, dire wolves, which have their new name now, Scion dirus, and ground sloths, Paramylodon harlani, and a single species that survived to today, the coyote Canis latrans. Sure enough, about 13,000 years ago, the 7 of the 8 megafauna species all vanished from the tar pit's record, the team found. To understand what was going on in the environment long ago, the researchers turned to sediment cores from the nearby Lake Elsinore. The core served as a record of regional vegetation, climate, and fire frequency changes over 10,000 of years. O'Keefe and his colleagues also compared the extinction timing with computer modeling of human population growth on the continent built from a database of many thousands of radiocarbon dates and archaeological sites across North America. The sediment core revealed that over the millennia preceding the extinction, the region warmed by 5.6 degrees Celsius and dried out. The area's juniper and oak woodland gave way to more drought and fire-tolerant plants. Shortly after this shift started, Southern California went through a 300-year-long period of intense fires, evidenced by a spike in charcoal in the lake's records. The team's modeling on human population showed their numbers rapidly grew right before the burning started. That's the population upswing so closely coincides with the fire suggests that the two areas are linked. What's more, the changing climate of human activity not only precipitated the extinction the team found, but also converted the region's woodland into chaparral scrubland for good. O'Keefe describes it as a feedback loop, noting that hunting herbivores also makes the ecosystem more fire prone as plants go uneaten. You get this vicious cycle, he says. You add more people and it gets hotter and drier and you're killing more herbivores. So there's more fuel to burn. The 7 megafauna species from Southern California, about 1,000 years before they did elsewhere in the United States. They vanished in Southern California first. I didn't realize that. Interesting. Those other populations may have met a similar end, the researchers say. There is evidence for a continent-wide event, not just Southern California, but across the continent right about the same time, O'Keefe says. Kind of what's happening right now with these fire maps, right? And we're seeing Sandra Brugger, a paleoecologist at the University of Basel in Switzerland, who wasn't involved in the research, notes that similarly rapid ecological transformations have been documented in the Mediterranean and a broader swath of the western United States during the transition between the Pleistocene and the following Holocene epoch. The new findings not only provide a glimpse into the past, but are also a cautionary tale, relevant to the present and to the survival of modern biodiversity, says O'Keefe, pointing to recent large, intense fires in Hawaii, the U.S. West, and Canada. So the parallels are certainly there. The one thing that's different about today is that we know what's happened before, and we can learn something from that. Maybe we can change our trajectory. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Can we change our trajectory? I would love to get back to a stable environment where the world's not burning across thousands of acres, hundreds of thousands of acres. It's ridiculous. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Sorry, this segment's kind of doom and gloom, but here we are, and we're just going to repeat the same thing over again. Let me see here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Just a second. This, where'd we go? This is the way things currently look. If you ever play video games, like where you're like do civilizations and stuff, this is what it looks like right before the game over screen, right? You've lost at this point when this much of your landscape is burning. These are the fires that are raging across North America currently. And there's a little Hawaiian fire right there. So, and get some fires down here in Houston, some in Florida, all across Canada. I mean, Canada's in flames. Look at that. Look how many fires we have going. What are we going to do? What is the answer to this? This is an emergency, right? I mean, surely this is an emergency. Is it going to show us? I don't know what to say, people. I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel like I'm barking into the wind. I feel like I'm wasting my voice for people who won't listen. This is not a joke. Climate change is happening. It's affecting us right now. Look at this. Look at this. From freaking Quebec to Alaska. Burning straight across. Straight across the continent. This is not a joke, people. This is insane. It's coming down the Pacific Northwest. It's not just affecting Canada either. It's running down the Rockies. We are drying out this land. These are places that were once green and lush that we've just let go. Yeah. Please remember to be kind and take care. We'll see you next time.